7-year-old girl draws strange pictures of her stepfather and her mother decides to install a security camera to find out what's going on. When she sees the footage, she is shocked by what she discovers. Taya Blackwood's classroom was a riot of color on that autumn morning, sunlight streaming through paint's splattered windows to illuminate dozens of children's artworks pinned to every available surface. She moved between the easel, her dark curls escaping from a messy bun as she leaned down to small hands holding paintbrushes. 23rd graders were attempting to capture the essence of their favorite memories, and the air hummed with creative energy. Remember, she said, her voice carrying the warmth that had made her Riverside Elementary's most beloved art teacher. There's no wrong way to show how you feel. Your memories are yours alone, and they deserve to be painted exactly as you see them. At the back of the room, 7-year-old Ren, her daughter, was creating something entirely different from her classmates. While other children painted summer beaches and birthday parties, Ren's canvas showed a detailed scene of their tiny kitchen captured in the soft morning light. She had perfectly rendered the way sunbeams caught the steam rising from Tia's coffee mug, the scattered rainbow looped cereal on the counter, and even the small chip in their favorite blue plates. Tia paused behind her daughter, marveling at the technical skill that seemed to have blossomed overnight. Ren had always been talented, but this was different. This was the work of someone who truly saw the world, who understood that beauty lived in the quiet moments between grand events. That's beautiful, sweetheart, she whispered, careful not to disturb the other students. You've captured our morning routine perfectly. Ren looked up, her hazel eyes so like her father's, crinkling with pride. It's my favorite part of the day, she said simply, adding another delicate layer of yellow to the sunbeams. Just you and me, the words caught Ina's chest. Just you and me. That's how it had been for so long after Marcus died, those precious years when they'd learned to be a family of two. Now, with her upcoming wedding to Caleb just 2 weeks away, everything was about to change. The bell rang, startling Tia from her as her students began cleaning their brushes and storing their works in progress. She noticed Ren lingering over her painting, adding one final touch, a small dark shape in the window behind their breakfast scene. When Tia looked closer, the shape had been painted over, blending into the morning shadows. Time for lunch, everyone, she called out, helping smaller hands wash paintbrushes and close paint containers. Remember to write your names on your work before you leave. As the children filed out, chattering about lunch trades and playground games, Ren carefully wrote her name in the corner of her canvas. Beneath it she added something new, not just the date as she usually did, but the words last morning. Tia felt a slight chill. Despite the warm classroom. Ren, what do you mean by last morning? Her daughter shrugged, suddenly interested in cleaning her paintbrush with unusual thoroughness. It's just after you marry Mr. Thorne. Mornings will be different, right? It won't be just us anymore. Tia knelt beside her daughter, paint-stained hands finding Ren's smaller ones. Hey, look at me, Firefly. It was their special nickname, born from Ren's love of catching the glowing insects in summer. Yes, things will change, but some things never will. You and me, we forever, no matter what. Ren nodded, but her eyes drifted back to the painting, to that shadowed window she tried to cover up. Promise, cross my heart, Toya said, making the gesture that had sealed their most important promises since Ren was old enough to understand them. Now go on to lunch. I heard they're serving those triangle pizzas you love. As Ren left, Tia found herself studying the painting again. There was something about it that nagged at her, not just the hidden shape in the window but the entire mood of the piece. It was beautiful, yes, but there was also a sense of something ending, a farewell to their life of two captured in oils and watercolors. She shook off the feeling and began preparing for her next class. As she refreshed paint supplies and laid out new paper, her thoughts drifted to the first time she met Caleb Thorne at last year's school fundraiser. He'd been there representing his technology company, which was donating computers to the school. She remembered how he'd stopped at every student art display, asking thoughtful questions about each piece. When he reached Ren's display, a series of fairy tale illustrations, he'd spent almost 20 minutes discussing them with her daughter, treating Ren's artistic choices with the same respect he'd show an adult artist. That was what had first drawn her to him, his ability to treat children as people with valid thoughts and feelings, not just miniature adults in training. Over their year of dating, she'd watched him build a careful, patient relationship with Ren. He never pushed, never demanded instant acceptance. He brought art supplies as gifts, asked about her projects, and seemed genuinely interested in her creative process. Yet sometimes, in quiet moments like this, Tia caught herself wondering if they were moving too fast. It had been 5 years since Marcus's accident, and Ren had never known another father figure. The transition from favorite art supply supplier to stepfather was enormous, no matter how gentle the approach. A knock at The classroom door interrupted her thoughts. Caleb stood there, his tall frame filling the doorway, a brown paper bag in one hand. Thought my favorite artist might want lunch, he said, holding up the bag. I brought those croons from Pearl Street Bakery. Toya smiled, pushing away her earlier unease. This was why she'd said yes when he proposed his thoughtfulness, his